Hi guys, my name's Shanae Carey and today I'm here to talk to you about the 5 most common things I get asked from spiritual entrepreneurs when it comes to Facebook content and Facebook marketing. So, the first thing is the most common question I get asked, and this is something that I have said over and over and over again, to no end almost. And it's how often should I be posting on my Facebook business page? Now, what's really important to know is that your Facebook business page, there's going to be a lot of information out there that's going to tell you varying things about how often you should be posting. You'll find all sorts of arguments for all sorts of different numbers of posts and frequencies and things like that. But I have always, for the 4 years and a bit that I've been doing my business, have always said the same thing, and this has remained true throughout the whole way. And my answer to this question is, however often you can post consistently on a regular basis, week in, week out, is exactly what you should do. There's no point listening to someone who says you have to post 5 times a day to get anywhere with the algorithm, or to beat the algorithm, or to blah 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 blah. Because for a lot of us, the option of posting 5 times a day makes us want to curl up into the fetal position and rock back and forth gently, because it's just obscene to a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs to be posting that frequently. So what I tend to say is, if you're at the lower end of that and you feel like you're just starting out and consistency is not yet there, what I say is start with a goal of 3 posts per week. That's it. Whatever you can do consistently, and if you aren't yet at that point, that is your goal and nothing more. And know that you can stick to that being your goal and stick with that until that is being consistently done on a regular basis and you feel ready to move beyond that. There's no point trying to post every day or multiple times a day if you are not there yet, and that's perfectly fine. Start and set yourself up for success. I can't stress that enough. So what I also often get asked, it's like, okay, all right, so if you say 3 times a week, what am I going to post? That's the next thing I always get asked. It's like, what am I going to talk about? How can I possibly come up with that much content? Or sometimes the opposite, I've got so much content, but that tends to be the less frequent situation. The more frequently asked question is about, what on earth am I going to come up with if I'm going to post 3 times every single week? And what I say to those people is, well, for example, there's 5 different post categories that I talk about that I think are really, really important, especially for solopreneurs. So those of us who are running our own businesses where we are the business. So it's our skills, our services, our expertise that we're selling. And these 5 different post categories, I've explained these lots and lots of times, but I'm going to go through them briefly with you now. So they're in no particular order because they are all equally weighted. There's 5 of them, so let's say that they're all equal 20%. That makes 100%. The first one, which I think is really important, people either find this really, really easy or really quite difficult, and this is social content. So these are the things that you're getting up to as you go about your days. So it might be, for example, for me a couple of weeks ago, I went to an event called Pub Choir, where they get on stage and they teach you a song. You stand in different sections depending on your singing capabilities and your tone and your pitch. And they teach you a song and then they film it at the end, and then it goes up and they tour around the world. And that's a really social content kind of piece, because it's really, really quite entertaining and it's fun, and it's the kind of stuff, and I said this to someone today in a session, when you think about social content, it's the kind of stuff that if you sat down with a friend and you caught up for a coffee or a cuppa or whatever, an almond chai latte, the kind of stuff that when they say to you, what's been going on, the things that you say in response to that question, that's social content. So a lot of people say to me, but my life's boring, there's nothing that I do. Well, I call BS on that. There's heaps of stuff that you can talk about. It doesn't have to be things that cost money and that require you to leave the house and go and do things. It could be your everyday life. People want to hear what you get up to, yeah? Something fascinating happened at the supermarket, or you made a really delicious dinner, or you had an absolute fail of a dinner, like me. I tend to muff a lot of my cooking attempts. I'm not particularly good in the kitchen, that's why I'm marrying a chef. But the things that you get up to that are outside your business, that are timely, that are relevant, that are happening now, those are the kinds of things that you can share about. And yes, there are some bigger events that happen less frequently. Absolutely do share them, but share the other things as well. Tell us what life's like. Tell us what it's like, because the key thing with social content for this category is it's not called social media by coincidence. It's social media. We spend all this time on our devices. I'm recording on my phone, so I can't show you, but we spend all this time on our devices. This is the next best thing that connects us. So make sure that you allow your audience to get to know you by sharing a little bit of your life behind the scenes. For me, it's lots of pictures of Max, taking him out for our walks, getting up to, mischief with friends, catching up with friends, all those sorts of beautiful things. What makes this really difficult is if you don't take pictures of things, it makes it really, really difficult. So if you're one of those people who always gets home from an event and you're like, I forgot to take a photo with such and such, this is an opportunity and an invitation for you to start snapping photos. Please, by no means do I want you to become that person who is on their phone all the time when they're at events. Don't do that. It takes 2 seconds. Hey, can I grab a quick photo, grab a quick selfie, take a picture of the food, take a picture of the whatever it is. Put your phone away and then forget about it until you sit down to schedule your content. That's really, really key. The next thing that I want to talk about, so that's your social content. The next category is posts about you. Let people get to know you. Now those two items, the social content and the posts about you, those two categories, they often overlap, and that's fine. Don't feel like you have to put your posts into one of the 5 boxes that I'm talking to you about today. It's okay if they go into multiple boxes, it's perfectly fine. But let people know about you. What are you passionate about? What inspires you? What did you want to be when you grew up? What was your first car? Like, tell people a little bit about you. The posts about you don't have to be necessarily relevant to what's happening in your life right now, but let us get to know you, connect with us, and tell us some interesting things about yourself. And what can sometimes work really nicely on social media is you give them a little bit about you and then you ask them to share a little bit about them. That way it turns into a conversation and it becomes a lot more connected. So that's 2, social and you. The next, and as I said, they're in no particular order, the next one is value content. This is content that's helpful to people. It's supportive, it's tips, it's tricks, it's advice, it's education, and things that you can help with. This video right here is a value piece of content. I'm explaining stuff to you, I'm educating and supporting you. This is value. And what happens is when you give people a little bit of value for free, they automatically, it doesn't happen necessarily consciously, but they automatically go, oh, that person gives away a lot of information freely. If I were to pay them X amount for whatever sort of service they've got, I reckon I'd get really good value and really good bang for my buck. So make sure that you're giving value. It also demonstrates your expertise as well. So make sure that you're giving people bite-sized pieces, just little chunks, sometimes things that they can go off and try themselves, things that they can do, things that they can implement, things that they can experiment with, things that they can buy, all those sorts of things. Make sure it's relevant to your subject matter. The next post type that I think is really, really important is your promotional stuff. You've got to talk about the stuff that you sell. You have to talk about the things that you sell and also those freebies. So freebies could be things like lead magnets, a free webinar that you're running, a free ebook that you have, a free workshop that you're running, all those free things that you do as well, free discovery calls, all those sorts of things all come into the promotional category, which is post type number 4. It's really important because if you don't promote yourself, no one's going to do it for you. I guess I want to caveat that with, you can eventually get to the point where there will be a point in your business where you can actually pay people and systems and other processes to do your marketing and advertising for you, but you have to learn how to do it first. You can't automate and systemize that if you haven't learned how to do it and mastered that yourself. So make sure that you are actually promoting yourself and you're putting your offering out into the world, whether that be a product or a service, whatever it is, make sure that you're putting it out there into the wide world. Yeah. And the 5th and final post category is fun. It's fun content. Put up fun stuff. So if you follow my Facebook business page, you will see that a couple of times a week, there's a meme or a joke or a funny And there's always a joke of the week as well. And they're always really bad. They're always really terrible dad jokes because that's my sense of humor. What I'm doing is I'm sharing stuff that's fun for me with you guys so that you can see my sense of humor and also hopefully be entertained as well. It is social media. We are often sitting on our phones, not connected to the world around us. So at least bring a spark of light into the eyeballs and the experiences of those people who are scrolling through and having a little bit of a look. Fun for the sake of fun. Sometimes it can be on your subject matter. Let's say you're an animal communicator and you work with animals energetically. A good animal meme and pun and joke and gif every now and then and video, all really, really great. Make sure you've got that in the mix, but you can do other stuff too. So they're the 5 post types. So I've covered how often should I post and what to post. The next question I get, I've got them listed so I don't miss any because it's a big juicy video that I'm doing here obviously. I'm at 10.5 minutes already. The next one is when to post. So if you're thinking about your Facebook business page, go and have a look at your insights. Jump on a computer. Don't do this on a smartphone or a tablet. Jump on a computer, go to your Facebook business page, click on insights at the top along the menu, and then when the menu across the left pops up, after you've clicked on insights, then click on posts and have a look at the graph. Now it's in PST, I think. PCT? Can never remember. They've recently changed the time zone to streamline it. It used to be in your local computer, your computer's local time zone, but now it's all been converted to an American time zone. So please make sure that you convert those times over to your local time zone to make your life a little bit easier when you're scheduling. Go and have a look at when your followers are actually online and post accordingly. Wherever there's the highest peak on the different days of the week, that's when you schedule your content. Or that's when you post your content, I should say, depending on whether you're scheduling or not, which leads perfectly into the next question. And that is, should I schedule content? Is it going to lessen my reach? Short answer to that is yes, you should schedule, and no, it's not necessarily going to lessen your reach. Reach is affected by so many different factors. There's never one underlying factor. It's never just the time, or it's never just the type of post, whether it's text only or text and image or whatever. There's never just one factor. It's a variety of things. And this is what makes the Facebook algorithm such a meaty thing to kind of explore. But if you're going to schedule content, it's going to save you time. There's a lot of those 5 categories that you can post at any time, and it doesn't actually really matter when it goes up. The only thing that's really time sensitive is the social content to some extent, and the promotions, making sure that they're current. Other than that, you can schedule stuff. Set aside an hour every week, maybe make it a Friday morning or a Friday afternoon or a Monday or whenever you want to do it. Carve out time in your week every week to do that scheduling, because it's going to save you a whole lot of time. If you do it all at once, then you don't have to think about it again. And if you get inspiration, then you throw up a post. Great. If you don't know how to schedule, please do get in touch and we can book some time together and I can show you how to go through that process and set that all up. There's a whole system that I recommend when it comes to that so that you're making the most out of what you're doing. And last but not least, the 5th thing that I get asked quite a bit is, should I do Facebook Lives? Yes, is the short answer to that. The reason for that is because what you want to do when it comes to your content is you want to have a diverse selection of different types of posts. And when I say that, I mean you want to do the odd text only. So you want to do a short amount of text, keep the character count low, and then you know how they... what's the word? The text kind of enlarges if you've only got text and it's a really short thing and it makes the font larger. That's really cool to do that. And then do some that are text and a picture, and do some that are picture only, and do some that are picture with text on it. And then do some where you've got a video, and then do some where you're doing a Facebook Live, and then do some stuff where you're sharing someone else's content. Like, the more variety that you've got, the better. So if you are not doing Facebook Lives because you're afraid of them, then we need to explore the fear. So if that's the case, then please do get in touch and let me know. I've done some packages around working on Facebook Lives. I've worked with some people who have done them but wanted to be more confident. And people who have never done Facebook Lives before, and now they've got a handful of Facebook Lives under their belt. I've also got a little Facebook group for my paid clients who have done work with me on Facebook Lives to actually practice their Facebook Lives in a nice, safe and intimate space. And that's part of what you get when you work with me on Facebook Lives. So if that's something that you're curious about and you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that, please do get in touch. We can work on that together. What often happens is we need to break things down and make it a little bit more simple and work out what's going to work best for you. But if the thought of Facebook Lives cripples you and you're back in that fetal position that I mentioned earlier, just work your way up to it. Do some pre-recorded videos like this, pop it up onto YouTube. Start small, but do work towards that, because if you're afraid of being on a Facebook Live, then that's going to have an impact on other parts of your business and your potential in your business for success and abundance and wealth and all that sort of beautiful creation stuff. So be mindful of the fear that might be getting in the way of you doing Facebook Lives and how that might be having an effect on other parts of your business as well. So to give you a short answer to that, yes, you should be doing Facebook Lives, but if you're not at a point where you're like, oh, I could try that and that seems okay, if you're kind of fetal position, work your way up to it. If you are going to do Facebook Lives, I highly recommend when you first start doing Facebook Lives, make sure that your Facebook Lives are in those categories that I mentioned before, that they're value lives. They are of value to people, because you want to build trust. If you're going to start doing videos, you want it to be really, really, really worthwhile that people watch you. If they start watching your videos, then you're waffling along and la 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 la, and there's nothing in the videos for them, and they've wasted 10 minutes, they're going to be really annoyed. They're probably not going to click on any of your videos later down the track. So don't waste that opportunity by just fluffing around. If you're going to do Facebook Lives, make sure that they are of value to people. So they're the 5 things that I get asked the most when it comes to Facebook marketing and Facebook content, especially for spiritual entrepreneurs. I should have brought my water bottle over with me. I'm like talking really fast so I can breathe. So if you have any questions about any of those, please do get in touch. If you want to explore any of these, map out a bit of a plan, work out what to post, when to post, all that sort of stuff for you specifically, please get in touch. We can do a 30-minute session, 125 AUD for 30 minutes. Short, sharp, to the point. We can map out a little plan and then you can get going. What we can also do together as well is we can take a look at what you do in your business, the 5 different post categories, and I can write some content ideas down for you and I can provide those to you via email. So we can do some time together as well, do a 30-minute session, because honestly, it's like a channel. It is so, they flow through me so quickly and so easily that it does not take much for me to come up with ideas for you. You just have to tell me what you do and how you do it, so I've got a bit of a basic understanding, and the content ideas come thick and fast. It's kind of my specialty. So if you want a bit of that and you want a little bit of, oh, I need some inspiration, please do reach out. As I said, we could do a 30-minute session, you could do a package, do a series of things together. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please do send me a message to my Facebook business page. You'll find me at Sinead Carey Coaching. Other than that, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye for now.